Welcome. I am so excited to be back here. Today, I'm going to talk about missing the point, why acupuncturists fail, and the key point they need to know to succeed. My name is Lorne Brown. I'm a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine. I'm practicing Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. My practice is called AcuBalance Wellness Center, and I have 8 associates. And when I'm not treating and pioneering some treatments in the reproductive health area, I like to teach and share my practice management success wisdom with you, my colleagues. I have a background as I'm a chartered accountant. I'm also a CPA and a doctor of Chinese medicine. So I have this multiple personality, which I'm grateful for because I can wear the doctor hat and the entrepreneur hat. And it's really important to heal our communities. And a lot of us are struggling. When I talk to my colleagues, they got the medicine down. They are excellent practitioners, but yet they just don't have the busy schedules. And so many of them have to leave their practice, either take on part-time jobs, or they end up leaving the career altogether and finding something else so they can pay their bills. So what I want to share is to help you so you have the practice side of it, to give you some of the business side of it so you can stay in practice, have a busy practice, because if you're seeing lots of patients, then you are healing your community, which is what you went into this for. And let's face it, the world, our communities need healing. So let's talk about this, missing the point, why acupuncturists are failing in practice and what they need to know to succeed. A big thank you to the AAC here. It's just nice that you not only put together great insurance for the users, but they're finding people like myself. You see people on the panel that I'm sharing with to teach you stuff about the medicine and about business. So it's nice that they're getting value added to their customers. So I want to thank you guys for the opportunity for me to share with you guys. We got a short time, so I'm going to get right to the point. I want to let you know, it's nice to know what you're learning and where you learned it from. So again, why do I have the ability to share this with you? Well, I built a successful practice called AcuBalance. I have 8 associates. I used to be a practicing CPA and auditor. I did that in Montreal for many years, and then I moved to Vancouver. You can see the scene behind me here in Vancouver, British Columbia. I worked as a CPA, as an auditor. And then I went on to work with the Ocean Spray cranberry growers in British Columbia. I was their tax guy and controller. Started AcuBalance. It's still going back in 2000. We're still going strong. And then I started Produce Seminars, online learning platform, which is now called Healthy Seminars. Created the Integrated Fertility Symposium, which sells out every year. And basically, these principles that I share and the mindset that I have is why these businesses have been so successful. And so that's what I want to share with you. The gentleman in the middle, if I look a little bit like him, that's my father. And he's my mentor. And so I was fortunate to have an entrepreneurial mentor. I've had many in both the medicine side and the business side. And my father really mentored me. And one of the things he taught me that I like to share with you is it's the individual, not the profession, that's going to determine success. So an acupuncturist can be a millionaire and a lawyer can go bankrupt. And you need to be passionate about what you do, because to be successful, you need to put the time into it to be successful. And if you love what you do, it won't feel like work. So you'll put in the necessary hours. And basically that there is no get rich quick idea. The successful people are just persistent. They just show up every day, roll up their sleeves, and they do small things every day, and it compounds into incredible success. And so he's a very successful man, and he owns a dry cleaning business. There you go, guys. Not university educated, and he's very successful. So he told me this idea about it's the individual, not the profession that leads to success. And he wasn't a massive success when he told me this. I was probably 14 years old, so that was a long time ago. And what he shared came to fruition. He became very successful by following principles that he shared with me. So why do acupuncturists fail in practice? Well, it has to do with the fact that you are a small business, and small businesses are at risk of failing. So it's not so much that it's acupuncturists that are failing in running their practices. Small businesses in general, and I remember seeing this as an auditor, the small businesses struggle. And it comes down to 2 main areas. One is we lack the people resources. And what I mean by that is if you're an acupuncturist, you're running a practice, you know this yourself, you have to be the clinician, you have to be the receptionist, you have to be the marketing expert, you have to be the SEO expert, you have to know how to use Facebook, you have to be the janitor. I mean, you have to wear so many hats. And so small businesses in general fail because one person is trying to do a job of many, and you can't be great at everything, but yet you have to do everything. So small businesses are at risk of failing just by the nature of them being small, that they don't have the people power. And we lack resources. That's the financial side. So these large corporations, some of these companies that start, they'll do startups and they'll gather money, they'll collect money, they'll get investors to help them in their startup. So even though they're not making a penny, some of them start up with millions of dollars at the beginning so they can pay people and pay for things to get done. Well, as a small business, you don't have that luxury. And so you don't have the cash flow, the capital to buy all the things you need or to hire all the things. So small businesses in general are at risk of failing. Then add to it where we're kind of unique as healthcare providers, as acupuncturists, add to it that you're in denial that you're in business, and then your risk skyrockets tenfold. Like it's crazy how much it skyrockets just because you're in denial. So really why acupuncturists fail in practice is because they're in business, but the main thing is because they're in denial that they're in small business. And so just by me saying, hey, you are in business, and if that light goes on for you and you start to change your mindset a bit, right then and there, you can change your trajectory, your path from failure to success. Now, to bring it home to us from a Chinese medicine perspective, we just got to remember that there's this yin-yang relationship that we understand in Chinese medicine. And when yin and yang are in relationship, we have health and we have vitality. When yin and yang fall out of relationship, then disease starts to manifest. And when yin and yang separate, we have death. Well, we have this in our practice too. The yin-yang relationship is between your clinical skills and your business skills. And when your yin and yang are out of relationship, all you do is focus on clinical. All your continuing education, all your focus is on clinical, and you neglect the business, then your yin becomes out of relationship. And that's what we see in our profession in general. That's what's happening in the Chinese medicine industry, is that the yin and yang's out of relationship. We're all clinical. We don't look at any of the entrepreneurial side. We don't even want to know about it. I don't want to see or hear about it, right? Don't talk about business. But that's why we're failing. And when that yin and yang's out of relationship, it's hard to pay for your bills. You need to take on part-time jobs. And when the yin and yang separates, then your practice fails. The landlord takes over your lease and you have to go find another job. So just like in medicine, where we treat the body and treat the health to get yin and yang relationship, your practice has to have that yin yang relationship as well. Now, how cool would it be if we had both? You had the clinical skills and the entrepreneurial skills. And that's what I want to share with you. That's what I'm all about, is having that integrity. I want to be clear. I'm not stating you just focus on business and you're just bringing people in because you want to make money. That is not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying you've got to have good clinical skills. We want that, but you want to have great business skills as well. Then your yin yang are in relationship. You have a thriving practice. And then you truly are blessed, because we are blessed that we get paid to do something we love that benefits other people. How cool is that, that you can be in service with other people? They tell you how grateful they are for healing their back pain, helping them fall pregnant, get rid of their migraines, and they pay you. It's a blessing. So I'm talking getting your business and your clinical skills at an even level. Now, I want to share a myth. I want to kind of debunk a myth. And that is, and I want to share with you, basically, your clinical skills have very little bearing on how busy you are or how much you receive for your service. That's not the myth. The myth is, oh, if I'm really great at clinic and my skills are great, I'm going to have busy practice. And I will share with you that's false. And hence I said your clinical skills have very little bearing on how busy you are or how much you receive for your services. And the reason being is patients cannot tell the difference between a good acupuncture or herbal prescription from a poor one. So how would they know how skilled you are? And now people say, well, but it's because of my results. Well, then I'll say, I know from my experience, and when I interviewed my colleagues for my book, Missing the Point, we all have patients where we have performed miracles, great results, where they've seen other people, they've had this condition for years, and you treat them once, and they have this miraculous healing, and they tell nobody, you get 0 referrals. We all have those patients. And then we have those patients where we worked with for a couple of months, we connect well with, and we actually don't correct what they've come in for, but yet they refer tons of people to us. So I don't believe it's your results or your skills that's going to keep you busy. Now, I think it's great that you have that, and I encourage you to have great clinical skills and get those results, but that's not going to help you have a busy schedule. So you need the entrepreneurial side as well. And that's why I want the integrity aspect, that you focus still on clinical. Now you start to talk and focus on your entrepreneurial, your business skills. Why? Because small businesses are at risk of failing. And if you're in denial that you're in business, then you're really at risk of failing. And why not have both? Have both clinical and business skills. So that's what I kind of want to share with you today. So it starts with your mindset. And if your attitude, if you have a poor mindset towards business and money, then it's going to be very difficult to be successful, because your behaviors are always going to be congruent with your beliefs, with your attitude. And so that's really key. That's the blueprint, is your thinking. Your attitude and your beliefs are very important. And many of us have really negative attitudes towards money. And I share that from my clinical hypnotherapy background, is that when your heart and your mind conflicts, the heart always wins. When the subconscious and the conscious conflict, the subconscious wins. And so it's important to work on those programmings, to become aware of them. So what Dan Siegel calls mindsight, become aware of these limiting beliefs, these limiting programs, and then work at changing them. So one example that I want to talk about, and then we'll close because we just had a short time together today, but it's just your mindset around money. So if you have a negative attitude towards money, how do you expect to attract that? How do you expect to have that abundance if you have a negative attitude towards money? And a great example is if you have difficulty collecting money from your patients, it makes you feel really uncomfortable, then you probably have a negative attitude towards money. Now, money is just chi. It's not good or evil. Money is just chi. And what you choose to do with it is going to determine whether it's going to be for good or for evil. And so if you are a practitioner, you're an excellent practitioner, but you're struggling, you don't have that prosperity, then you only have an influence around the people around you, because that's all you can really connect with. But if you have incredible abundance and prosperity, this gives you the vehicle, the opportunity for you to really have influence much broader than your little tiny circle around you. And that's why I encourage practitioners to become successful, not just to fill their own basket, but so you can give back to your communities. And I think of no better industry or group of individuals than acupuncturists to be successful, because they're the type of people I hope that would give back to their communities. So your mindset around money is really important. And so if you see people with big rings and that upsets you, if you don't like the 1%, then how can you become the 1%, right? Money is not good or evil, it is just chi. So that is the main thing I wanted to share with you around the money. Think of your money and your profit as the applause you get for doing a good job, right? For helping your patients, for connecting with your patients. So in summary, why do acupuncturists fail? Acupuncturists fail because they're small businesses in nature. So it happens to all small businesses. Add to it that we're in denial. Well, that really puts us in a problem. That really creates a problem for us, because if you're not aware of it, then it's going to be difficult to make the changes, the behaviors that are necessary to be successful. And then the first thing to do is realize you're in business, and then get your yin and yang relationship. So start investing, not just in clinical, but start investing in your practice, your business, your entrepreneurial side. How many courses do you need to take on how to treat ankle pain, right? It's time to start looking at some other areas of your practice to be holistically sound. These are some of the things that I have available. I'm the author of Missing the Point, Why Acupuncturists Fail. So I go into much more detail in my book, and the website is missingthepointbook.com. And then on healthyseminars.com, there's on-demand courses. So they're just available on demand for practice management. We have great speakers on there that I have sourced out that are talking great content for acupuncturists to help build their practice. So do check out the practice management section on healthyseminars.com, We have other courses as well related to Chinese medicine and functional medicine. And then I have the Integrated Fertility Symposium, the ifsymposium.com, that's held annually in Vancouver. Please check that out. And I want to let you guys know that I'll be back next month. We'll see what you guys want me to chat about. So do put that in the Facebook post. But also on August 29th, we have a special treat. Sam Collins is going to be interviewing Dr. David Miller. Now, Dr. David Miller is a medical doctor, and he went and specialized. So he's a pediatrician and he's a licensed acupuncturist. He went through the whole Chinese medicine training like we have. So he is both. Like I have that multiple personality. I'm a CPA and I'm a Chinese medicine doctor. Dr. David is a medical doctor and he is a licensed acupuncturist. So check that out on August 29th. Anyways, I'd love to hear your feedback. And remember, get your yin yang in relationship. You are an acupuncturist, you're a healer, but you're also a small business. Thank you very much.